Hi Road Rush Nation. This week I'm talking to you about keeping your bike secure and hopefully preventing that god-awful thing of ever happening while you're taking a trip with your beautiful bike. So hang out with us and find out some of the tricks you can do to help prevent anybody from stealing your bike. Unfortunately, crime is running rampant anymore. And as you're getting ready to ride to that glorious rally, there's thieves looking to steal your bike. They're looking for any opportunity to grab what you have. They don't even have to be good criminals. They'll do it during the day. They'll do it in front of people. They don't care. They just want to snag your bike. And the trick is, we need to make this as inconvenient as possible. Take a look at these two clowns. They couldn't even care less about taking good care of this bike. They just wanted to shove it up into the back of the truck. There's even, these guys are out in San Francisco and in broad daylight with people walking by. They're gonna try and get this bike. You'll be amazed here in just a couple seconds of what they pull out of that backpack to try and get this bike. People didn't even call to get assistance. You'll see that on the back of the yellow bike, there's a big chain on there. This owner figured, hey, this was a good way to prevent anybody from stealing their bike. Well, hang on and just watch. I guess only in San Francisco would nobody notice the sparks that are flying as they're trying to saw off that chain. You don't even have to be traveling to have your bike stolen. Take a listen to this poor guy's story of his brand new bike being ripped off.
Tuesday night on this very spot right here at the Harbor Apartment Complex in Clinton Township, Harley enthusiast Scott Silverthorne parked his brand spanking new Harley. He had picked it up the day before. He came out on Wednesday morning and poof, it was gone.
There wasn't even dust on it yet. I only had 300 miles on it.
Local 4 was with Scott this morning as he rolled the 80s vintage Harley his friend lent him until he can sort out the insurance claim into his living room.
For how much I pay a month for this apartment, it's pretty ridiculous that I have to pull my motorcycle inside to prevent it from getting stolen.
This is Scott on Monday when he picked up his new bike, a sparkling 2019 Harley Street Glide Special. He'd traded in a Harley he'd bought earlier this spring for the upgraded model, and since he works with motorcycles, he also spent a couple of $1,000s more customizing it to his exclusive and enthusiastic Harley tastes.
I sold my car because I plan on being on the motorcycle the entire summer.
So now Scott, who's a former Marine, is putting up this poster around the neighborhood, hoping someone saw something that could get him a lead on the thieves.
It's heartbreaking.
But Clinton Township police tell Local 4 that 2 other bikes have been stolen from the harbors here in the past week, and they haven't been recovered either.
Oh, I was ecstatic. I was enthused about getting the bike that I've wanted just about my whole life. And 2 days later, it's no longer there.
Okay, let's talk about securing your bike while you're traveling. We've got all the big rallies starting to heat up for the spring. We've got Daytona and a lot of the rallies are happening over in Florida. One of the worst things that can happen during your travels to a rally is your bike getting stolen. Heard about it many times in Daytona. The opportunists that are out there to steal your bike are just waiting for you to show up. So I want to give you a couple of tips to hopefully prevent that from happening to you. Tip number 1, you've got your fob, right? So some of you may have 2 fobs, and I hear a lot of people say, hey, I don't want to, if I lose my fob on my trip, I can't ride, so I'm going to give my extra fob to my buddy. Oh, sounds like a good idea if you happen to lose your fob. Bad idea if you don't want to have your bike stolen. And here's why. You got 2 fobs, right? And I'm going to explain why I have a chain on mine here in a minute. It is not because it's cool looking. It's not anything to do with that. I'll explain this in a minute. But you give your extra fob to your buddy. Well, his bike is like sitting a couple of inches from yours when you park at the hotel, right? You park in the same parking lot. It's right there. So what does your buddy do with this fob? He's gonna, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna stick it in his saddlebag. Okay, that puts it maybe a foot or 2 from your bike. Guess what? Thieves are going, yeah, let me see if I can start this, because they're gonna expect that fob to be in your buddy's bike. Boom, I'm out, gone. Didn't even have to put any barriers in for the thieves not to steal your bike. So, my advice, take 1 fob. Keep it on yourself, don't give your buddy a fob. There's a lot of ways of getting your bike started when you don't have the fob. You'd rather lose the fob and deal with that mess than to deal with losing your whole bike. Now, I told you I was gonna explain the chain. This is your typical chain. You'll see them a lot of times advertised for a wallet. I don't use it for a wallet. I use it for my fob. You'll see mine's a lot shorter. I had it shortened because I didn't want that long chain. This is how I secure my fob when I'm riding long distances. Yeah, your fob a lot of times will work up out of your pocket. Just shorten the chain. I hook it onto my belt loop, put it in my pocket, and I never worry about losing it because it's on the chain. So, advice number 1, only take 1 fob. Okay, advice number 2. So you started out, you're only taking 1 fob. When you get to whatever hotel you're gonna be at, you always wanna look at where you're parking, okay? A lot of people wanna park right underneath the awning, which is fantastic and a great place to park. Keeps the bike out of the weather. It's right there where a lot of people are coming through and you think it's safe. First thing to do though is when you do check in, always ask management if you can park there, because that is technically a fire lane and they can have your vehicle, your bike, towed if necessary. So you want to make sure you have permission to be there in the first place. And they'll give you some guidance on where you can park, also how. So don't be parking at an angle. You're gonna have to park straight so that you've got plenty of room for other guests of the hotel to pull in and be able to get out of their vehicles. We've also always do this and have had a couple of times where we've been real lucky. A lot of the hotels may have had a smoking area right by the front door. And because of people complaining about smoking, they've eliminated having benches there or even the ashtrays there. And they'll say, hey, we've got that big cement area right by the front door. You can roll your bike right up there and park it. So we've done that a few times, been great. So that's the first thing, is you wanna always ask, where can you park? And they'll give you guidance on it. Yes, if you can park by the front door, that's always nice because you know there's people coming in and out. And thieves are always looking for the path of least resistance. So do check on that. The other thing too is look in the parking lot where you can park. A lot of people say, I want to park way in the back because I don't want anybody messing with my bike. Okay, put a big red sign on your bike saying, come mess with my bike. That's why it's way back there where nobody can see it. It's not underneath the lights. Not real smart. The second thing we always do is when we get to our room, we look to see where our window is and what we can see. We want to be able to see our bikes at night. I'm going to stick a picture up here of, this was in Edgewood, New Mexico, and we were up on the 3rd floor, but we could see our bikes. That's what we wanted to be able to do when we park. We always look. We don't want to be someplace where we can't see them. Now, that all depends on how many vehicles have also gotten into the parking lot. I totally get it. But that's one of the things you should always do, is look to see where you can park. Now, here's the other thing, and you're not gonna like to hear this part. No matter what you do, if a thief wants to steal your bike, they're gonna steal it. And I'm gonna tell you, they're not stealing it because they want the bike. It's the parts they want. They want the parts off of this thing. It's easier to strip a bike and have get the parts off than it is to try and get rid of the whole bike. They're not looking to do that. They're looking to get all the accessories that you put on the bike, because guess what you can't track is all those parts. You can track the bike, you can't track the parts, and they can sell them on eBay and all these other places without any resistance. So that's usually the thing that they're trying to do, is they're not trying to necessarily steal the whole bike, they want the parts. So as soon as they can get in, get out, boom, they're gone. So one of the things I recommend, and this comes from a reliable source who happens to be in law enforcement, you want to make as many obstacles for them to get to your bike and for them to steal it, because they really want to get in, get out. Now there are some clowns that are thieves, which I freaking hate thieves. Anyway, one of the things I do is I'll put a cover on my bike, and I don't just lay it over it. Yes, a lot of people go, I don't want to advertise Harley. Well, fine, don't advertise Harley. There's a lot of smaller covers that you can get. This one is a full cover, and it's compressed. So you can easily put this in your saddlebags or your tour pack or a backpack or any of your luggage. This one is a full cover that I've had for a while, and this is a compressed setup, so you can make it as tight as you can. But covering up your bike lets the thieves know, hey, that's a little harder. I want to be able to see it. I want to get in and get out. If I have to mess with a cover, that slows them down. Every second counts to a thief. Little turds. Anyway, so that's one thing I will do. Always, of course, you want to put your alarm on. If you don't have your sound set up for your alarm, that's an accessory that you have to buy to put on your bike. Get one. Even though we always hear them chirp, chirp, and people go, oh, that's, they don't think anything of it. You want to have them make as much noise. It doesn't stop. Remember, this will never prevent completely your bike from being stolen. These are just things that you can do to help prevent it, okay? So always go in, put your alarm on, put your fork locks on, okay? Something else, anything to get them to slow down and to stop them from doing it. Like I said though, if they want it, they're gonna get it. One of the things we always do, and you get these at Harley, is we put the fork locks on there. You always wanna make sure you have this up on your handlebar, because I don't know how many times people have driven off forgetting they have this on there, but we always put these on. Another thing, it's not going to prevent it, it's going to slow them down. So that's another thing that we always do to help prevent our bikes from being stolen. We're trying to putting a sign on there saying, hey dumbass, you better back off. One of the things I'd love to do to any of these thieves is introduce them to my little friend, if you know what I mean.
You want to play games? Okay, I'll play with you. Come on. Okay. You want to play what? Say hello to my little friend!
Anyway. Then one of the other things that we do also is we have these sending units that Harley puts out. Now, this, a lot of people, it's a pager, excuse me, is what it's really called. It's a pager from Harley. And what it does is it connects with your siren system on your bike. You'll set it up, and we'll take this up into our hotel rooms. These will send for a half a mile. I don't keep my bike a half a mile away and use this, but I do at night. We'll put this on the nightstands. On the nightstand, don't make sure there's nothing underneath it. And the reason I say that is I'll take this out, this vibrates. So when it's sitting on the table, the end table, it will vibrate and make a noise, which helps me know that somebody is out messing with the bikes and that somebody is gonna get a meeting, let's put it that way. One of the other things too is always bring extra batteries for that, because a lot of times you have it in your saddlebag and you're not thinking about it and the battery's dead. So they take a 2450. There are a lot of people that have been asking about the Apple little tracking device, but every time you have an Apple device near it, it'll tell you that it's off. There is a company that's out that does have like a low jack system for your bike. You can find certain dealerships that will install that. It's called Fin, F-I-N, and it's called Find It Now is actually the name of the company. I had looked at it for Aaron and I. It's not cheap, But if you are looking for something that will track the bike, that's great. But remember, that's not preventing them from stealing the bike. That's afterwards, after they've jacked it, then that system will kick in, and it's fantastic. It's an awesome system, and I'll put a link in the description for you. They will call the cops, they will get everything going on it, they start this whole system, and they will track your bike. Again, it doesn't prevent it. It's something after the fact. Unfortunately, the world we live in now, people are just jerks. And if they want to steal your bike, they'll do it no matter what. There's a special place in hell for those kind of people. And hopefully you never have to experience theft of your bike when you're out traveling. So don't forget to like, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming episodes, because we've got more things that we're going to be putting on this beautiful Arctic Blast, number 219. There's only 500 in the world. And I've got some special products that I'm going to be showing you, from an amazing garage door opener that goes into where the cigarette lighter is, into that spot. That is amazing. I'm going to show you a special install on the Sirius radio antenna, a little trick on how to make sure you get the best reception possible with that system. There's a lot of really neat things that Aaron and I are going to work on. Aaron puts on the underglow lights for me on my bike, and he's done it on like 5 other bikes. Yes, you can do it. We're going to use LED glow lights, which is a fantastic. This will save you hundreds of dollars. Hundreds. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next adventure. Take care, ride safe, and enjoy life. Remember, life's too short, so let's go ride.